Welcome to the Positive Behavior Instructional Supports, or PBIS 101 review. This quick video is designed to be a overview of Cascade High School's implementation of PBIS and an overview of the School of Pride. Ultimately, PBIS is about limiting opportunities and situations in which the teacher feels like this. We've all had the students that seem to really relish in getting the attention, especially of a flustered, angry, or upset teacher. And so PBIS is designed to teach behavior expectations school-wide so that students have a universal understanding of PBIS and behaviors. And so what it is and what it is not. PBIS is a broad range of systemic and individualized strategies for achieving important social and learning outcomes while preventing problem behavior with all students. What it is not. It is not a special education program designed for just a few targeted students, right? It's not a specific curriculum or practice that we purchase to deal with those kids. Instead, it's designed for all students. And it's not new. It's relatively based on a long history of behavioral practices and effective instructional design strategies. So this is something that we're not inventing. It's not new. It's nationwide. It's within a lot of schools and at all levels, elementary to high school. And one of the things that we know that the science of behavior has taught us is that students are not born with these bad behaviors. And especially true that we know people don't learn when presented with contingent aversive consequences, right? So if you don't do this, then this will happen. It's not what brain science is telling us as effective learning. If you think about riding a bicycle, somebody who's yelling at you every time you fall, or I'm going to threaten to take away the bike, those are not ways that people thrive in learning. And there's no difference to teaching of behaviors. We need to make sure that we really are purposeful in how we teach students about the expectations. And we do that with two different lenses, a school-wide lens and a classroom-wide approach. Each of you as teachers have your own classroom management and classroom management strategies that promote a positive, welcoming environment in your classroom. Well, school-wide, we want to do the same thing. So we identify a common approach and purpose to discipline. We define our positive expectations and behaviors, which is what we've done with our School of Pride. And then we implement procedures for teaching these expected behaviors. And we've done that this year with our PBIS Pause monthly lessons. Eventually, we'll get to the point where we're differentiating supports for expected behaviors and discouraging inappropriate behaviors with differentiated supports, and then creating procedures to monitor, and evaluate our effectiveness. Again, we are teaching the behaviors through our School of Pride matrix, professionalism, responsibility, inclusivity, dignity, and engagement. And again, this was something that was designed in year one by the team after getting feedback from the teachers about expected behaviors in the classroom, in the hallways, at lunch, and in common areas. And based on the teachers' feedback, we built in a behavior matrix of what we expect students to know and behave in these different settings within the school. PBIS has a teach, model, cue, and reinforce mantra, meaning that we have to establish the teachable, the positively stated, and the memorable behavior expectations. And at Cascade High School, we've built on School of Pride. So it's professionalism, responsibility, inclusivity, dignity, and engagement. These are the lessons, or excuse me, these are the behaviors we want to teach all students, regardless of kind of students' academic standing. And again, we do that through these monthly lessons, and then within those big targeted behaviors are the expected behaviors in the different settings. And the monthly lessons, the PBIS monthly lessons, we are taking your feedback and we're going to apply it to year two in terms of how we can strengthen these lessons. We've tried them out and explored them this year. We've created sort of a universal language so that all teachers are teaching the same expectations to all students school-wide. We're looking at ways of partnering it with the Bruin broadcast and keeping our School of Pride and the behavior expectations alive and in front of students a little bit more. And so we're going to explore those as we move into year two and beyond. We also know that we need to model the behaviors, and so as teachers and staff members, we're modeling what we want to see, and we really went ahead this year and did that through our PBIS Pride videos, where we showed students what is the wrong way to behave, and then asked student leaders to really demonstrate what are the right ways of the behavior expectations that we have. And so we did it in sort of a fun video, and thank you for all the staff members that participated in that. once we teach and model, we have to cue. So whether it's a visual or a nonverbal prompt, or visual nonverbal prompt, or a verbal prompt, cueing students to the behaviors that we expect is an important element of teaching and having students think about the behaviors that they're displaying. Cue phrases like off, off, and away, 10 by 10. These are all very simple, universal language that we all use throughout the school that students will hear from teacher to teacher to teacher, and it helps embed that really into their minds. Reinforcing the behavior expectations is the last step to the mantra here, and we do that through our B. Bruin ticket system, where we recognize students who are making the positive behaviors that we want to see, and we just need to do that as often as we can and really start to embed this practice into our interactions with students. Brain science has shown us that, and behavior science, that students that get these rewards, it's not really about the things that they win from the drawing. It's about a teacher going out of their way and acknowledging a positive behavior that they saw out of a student. And so we want to make sure that we really reinforce positive behavior expectations. We also want to be mindful and aware that that when it comes to reinforcement, there are many who believe external motivators will not, that's not what we want. We want intrinsic motivation, but we do know that sometimes an external motivator will help jumpstart and kickstart intrinsic motivation. We also know that proactive classroom management strategies are really built upon the idea of having positive interactions and positive relationships with students. You have different procedures in your classroom that you're using to build those relationships, but the PBIS sort of 101 is around a 5-to-1 positive to negative interaction ratio. So the more positive interactions you have, the more the student understands the behavior expectations. For example, rather than yelling or saying, hey, why doesn't so-and-so have their paper out, get your pencil out, you state in the positive, hey, I really appreciate that almost all of you have your pencil out, looks like we're waiting on just a few more students, or thank you to so-and-so for having everything ready as we're starting the day. Those types of positively stated things will really just improve behavior. We also know that once we've established the behaviors and we work to maintain them, occasionally with children, they have to learn by failure. And so when there is a behavior that's messed up, or that a relationship that gets damaged, it's up to us as adults to work to restore those relationships and to make sure that we teach how the behavior had an impact and what that means for us moving forward, so that we can then restore relationships and continue to create that positive culture with kids and a positive school-wide environment conducive to academic learning. Now, the culture and climate team here that you see, the teachers that are involved, it's also spread this year to include student reps and parent groups like natural leaders. And really our focus is to meet twice a month to work on what is it that we're seeing in trends in terms of discipline data, to keep the School of Pride alive, to work with other leadership groups and ASB and Link Crew, which we're looking forward to next year, around creating that positive culture. We build in our Tier 1 for all students, those Pride monthly lessons that you as teachers are teaching in your pause classes, and we'll come up with some new information moving forward into Year 2 about how and when, just to make that as simple as we can. But we really do need you to buy in and to help. We also know that there's a 5-year track to total implementation, and so we're getting there. We're not there yet, but we're going to get there. The Culture and Climate team has received your feedback, and we're applying it to our action planning for Year 2. We're seeking student feedback. Again, we're aligning with other groups that we have in the school that create a positive culture, like Link Crew, like ASB leadership, just to make sure that we don't need to brand anything as PBIS. That's not what his intent is, but we can certainly make School of Pride and the expectations around behavior with pride in front of students a little better. And we want to continue to develop our Tier 1 Pride lessons for pause, so that, again, it's easy for you to teach with the rest of the school. We also know that a PBIS school has RTI model that talks about, what if a student, we've taught them all this behavior, but this student is still not getting it, what do we do next? And that's our Tier 2 and Tier 3 response that we're still building on. More information to come on that. So thank you for watching this quick video overview of PBIS. There's a quick survey attached to my email that you can complete for a chance to win a fabulous prize. And thank you very much.